Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of year. My favorite time of the year. Connor knows this about me. Many people know this about me. I totally nerd out about one thing on this planet more than any other, and that is GOTYs. The game awards are here. The nominees are out. They've been out for about a week now. We went and did a betting special discussing our predictions for the show. I rounded up the Nebzon crew. We talked about it. Connor, was that an amazing episode? Should people go and check that out?
Absolutely. I was right about everything. So
Yeah, we'll see if you were. December 8th, when you can see with us on December 8th as we go and watch the Game Awards, we will be suited and booted, reacting to every single announcement, prediction, award winner, and we'll be seeing a lot of what we got right today and in that betting special. So if you're going to watch it with us or watch our reactions down the line, go and check these videos out and then enjoy whether or not we got these predictions right or wrong. So we are going to we're going to pull up the website. We're going to go through each prediction. There's going to be certain categories where we feel unequipped, where we feel like we just don't know. Like we want to give predictions on what we are in our bag about, what we know is going to happen. There's 31 categories. I assume we will skip over probably only about 5 of them, and the rest of them we will be predicting what's what. And if there's something we want to touch on but not predict fully, we'll go from there. What anything else? Oh, Connor won this last year, by the way. Connor beat me by one prediction. We disagreed on about 5 of them, or 6 of them, or seven. I think it was 7 actually, and he beat me by one prediction. But overall, we got like 80% of the predictions correct, if I remember correctly. Is that right, Connor?
sounds about right.
Yeah, we were absolutely nailing it. Connor did guess It Takes Two to win it all, and I guess definitely but that was the deciding factor at the end of the day. So that's got to give Connor some credit. He's coming in as the reigning champ. But we're gonna open this up. We're gonna go and pull up our predictions. We're gonna talk about what certain ones. We're gonna explain certain ones. We're gonna run through certain ones. But it's at the end of the day, we get to the big one. We all know that there's a lot of God of War, there's a lot of Elden Ring, but these early predictions, we're talking some esports. Connor, best esports event. The nominations are Evo, League of Legends Worlds, the PGL Major. I don't even know what that is, and then the what even is some of these the mid season invitational for 2020. That's Rocket League looks like, and then the Valorant Champions 2022. Let me just double check that I'm reading all that correctly. Yeah. So it's Worlds, it's League of Legends, it's Valorant Champions, it's Evo. We are going to predict this one, but because there is a tier, it feels like, of things that we hear about and then things that we don't. Connor, which one do you want to get in on first? And by the way, we'll go out back and forth on who starts with what prediction, so we can.
I can just start with this if you want. If you want me
Yeah,
to.
you go ahead on this one.
I'm just gonna give like what I think is going to win and what I would like to win.
Yeah.
For most of these, I think that like Evo's just a staple. Rocket League had a pretty good year as far as I can tell, just from following on social media, but I don't think that'll win. I think Worlds for League of Legends probably has the best shot, and that's what I think will win. So that's going to be my prediction.
That's what you locked in as your prediction.
Yeah, yeah. But I personally think that Valorant Champions Tour was that I got the most out of for this year, obviously. So, and I thought that tournament was awesome. So
it was a great tournament. You and I both enjoy Valorant a whole bunch, and I'm also going to lock in League of Legends. It feels like every single year that these esports are dominated by League, and so yeah, I want to lock in League, and I hope Valorant Champions wins. And that's go ahead.
I'm not going to look at like what happened last year, honestly, because I'm curious if League has won like most years, because I feel like it always is kind of a staple, but I'm not sure.
So best I'm gonna go with coach. We're out on this one. We won't give an official prediction for this one. Do you have anything to say about this one?
The only one I know about is the loud Biaka. BZKA. He's the coach for Loud. Oh, and I guess that guy must be for Valorant as well. Eric in the middle there. I do not know otherwise though.
Awesome.
Does it tell you which team at the bottom?
I don't believe. Oh, it does. Yeah. So FPX is coach and Loud's coach. We got CS:GO, the FaZe Clan coach for CS:GO, and then Gen G getting in there for League of Legends. But yeah, we're gonna move on to
maybe it'll be score then for League.
Best esports team. We got Connor, can you read these ones? I'm not as good, or especially that first one.
What
I
do you?
have no
It's
idea.
just one. It's literally two words in one. Dark Zero. What do
Oh,
you
it is
mean?
Dark Zero. Jeez,
Yeah.
I am just bad at. So I've traveled all day. Okay, I'm coming in a little tired. I try to shower, refresh myself, but I'm still tired coming into this. I'm super excited though to talk about this. Yeah, we have Dark Zero, Face Clan, Gen G, LA Thieves, and Loud representing this category. What piques your mind? What piques your interest seeing this? Do
It's
you want to put a prediction in?
yeah. I can put a
Okay,
prediction. It's
I'll also put a
interesting.
prediction in.
Gen G didn't win Worlds, as far
Yep.
as I understand. Right? It wasn't T1 made it to the end. Who won? I don't know. Off the top of my head. And then can you scroll a little bit down? It's the CS:GO FaZe Clan. Yeah.
It's yeah, phase for
They did
CS:GO.
win. They did win their major championship this year. Loud had a really good year. I don't think they'll win. I think LA Thieves, if we're going off of popularity and name recognition, LA Thieves probably has it. They did win the biggest tournament of the year in Call of Duty. It is Call of Duty though, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
go with LA Thieves.
We're going with LA Thieves. I'm gonna go and kick it to FaZe Clan for winning CS:GO champions. So.
And not that I'm just wearing a 100 Thieves sweatshirt right now, but
Sweatshirt.
yeah.
Best esports athlete. We are not going to predict a winner, but I believe that you and I both want Mr. El Diablo, aka Yay, to come through with this
Yeah,
one.
it's weird that Simple is up for this and has presumably never won. He's huge. Simple in
Yeah.
CS:GO. I think he probably has a pretty good shot of getting it, but
Yeah. And then
I think Gay has a pretty good shot too, honestly.
best esports game. We got CS:GO, Dota 2, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Valorant. We will be predicting this one, Connor. I'll start us out with this one. Um, it, it's a juggernaut. League's a juggernaut. It's hard
Yeah,
not to pick League. It's like not picking Patrick Mahomes, when it comes to this competition. But I'm I'm gonna go with League of Legends. I'm
okay.
going with the safe bet. Connor, what's
I'm gonna go with Valorant personally. I think you're probably right, but I think Counter Strike is on a decline. Just has been for the last decade for the most part. I can't even believe Dota 2 is still up there. I didn't know it was that big. League's massive, so
all
maybe
right?
League.
Uh, we have for the most anticipated game Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, aka Tears of the Kingdom. Connor, where do you go with this one? This is
Man,
obvious in my opinion. I'm
really?
Oh yeah,
I think this is tough. I think Hogwarts Legacy, you can just take that off the board. I think Starfield's really anticipated, but has its rough edges. Final Fantasy being exclusive and Zelda, I guess, would have that problem. But I think it's Zelda probably is where my heart's at. But like, it's weird to not have Elden Ring up here for like,
the third
as it
year in a
was
row.
like for the
It won
last
two
few years
years
because
in a
that was
row. Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was guaranteed those years. So not having that here this year is kind of strange. So yeah, I'll go Zelda
Yeah,
personally.
I'm in the same exact boat with Zelda. It's coming soon, so it's extremely anticipated, and also it's Zelda against Starfield for those games, and Resident
I
Evil
mean,
4.
all these are presumably coming soon.
Yeah, that Hogwarts Legacy's
I think furthest out is
is
Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy.
16.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I still think it's Zelda. It's because it's freaking Zelda. But like I know that that's
Right.
like dumb, but it is cool. I think it is the most anticipated game because when we were discussing earlier this year on announcements that would get us hyped and out of our seat, Zelda was always on the top of our list compared to something like Starfield, where we were excited to see, excited to see gameplay, but we weren't dying for it like as much as we were for a title for Zelda. So I'm also gonna go Zelda
Could we
on
see
this one.
Zelda gameplay or something here, like an actual reveal?
Well, we'll see.
It's possible.
Connor, I like to believe in dreams. Okay, I like to believe in greatness and in God. And I don't know. I think that Zelda could be there. It was not on our betting special. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much because
Yeah.
I don't know what odds I would give that. I would if we're talking to the bank, Nick
Low.
Evans. I'm giving 1 to like 10 odds on it. I don't think
Yeah.
we're seeing Zelda. So,
Maybe.
all right, best adaptation. This is a new category for the first time they're ever doing it. Talking about video games and other pieces of work like entertainment. And we got Arcane, we got Cyberpunk Edge Runners, we got the Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Uncharted. Let's just say A couple of these are not like the others. That's what
Yeah,
my mind goes. Especially when they were revealing it, I was like, okay, okay, and then it just fell off hard in my opinion, and not hard in the
right.
sense of they sucked, just hard in the sense of some of these are considered masterpieces, and then others are Uncharted. So I'm gonna start us out with this one. I'm going with Arcane. It's a masterpiece. Edge Runners will make it like we'll get both. Cuphead show will get both. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 will get both. Uncharted probably won't get votes in general, but it will be Arcane.
Give me Cyberpunk.
Woo!
Yeah, I think I'm probably wrong, but it's the logic here is that it's more recent. I honestly can't believe that Arcane is up for it this year. I feel like that came up forever
It
ago.
came out in
I
November of
can't.
last year, like where it,
Oh,
so
really? Okay, so yeah,
yeah, and then
that's how it
well,
works.
the first three episodes came out November last year. It was completed in like December of last year or late November. I forget how the
Gotcha.
weekly release of that worked. Um, but yeah, what a show! And now we're on to one of the most interesting categories that we're going to get all day long. Best debut indie for the best debut game created by an independent studio. We have Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors getting the nod, which a lot of people wanted more Vampire Survivors throughout this. It felt like Twitter was asking for a little bit more Vampire Survivors throughout the nominations, but I'm pretty sure this is the only nod it has. Connor, you can kick us off with this one because I did last time. Where do you go?
This is really tough.
Yeah.
Um,
What a
because
field. What a year for the indies. Like
yeah,
actually, what a fucking year for indies.
I'm not familiar with Norco, so I'm gonna axe that. Neon White is really popular. So is Stray with being nominated for Game of the Year, obviously. Tunic, I feel like kind of came and went. It has its audience, but Vampire Survivors with all the social media outcry for it not being nominated for more stuff, I feel like might get more votes because of that. But at the same time, I feel like you have to go Stray here just because I don't know what else it's gonna win, personally. So
Well, it's probably gonna win best indie also, and yeah, my vote is also for Stray. This would be such a one of those like I hope they play the game a little bit, and I hope that this goes to Neon White here. Because when I think about the best indies of this year, that game, like I enjoyed watching that game on Twitch way more than I enjoyed even
yeah,
playing Tunic for a few hours on Game Pass. Like
I
it's
think Neon White is probably the best game in this, as far as I know. I'm not familiar with Vampire Survivors as well, so
yeah.
there's that. So like, are you gonna go Neon White then?
No, I'm going with Stray. Stray is going to
You gotta
lead
look
up
a
these
little
indie
bit.
sections, and I'm
You
not
think so? You really think so?
I'm not happy about it. I
Mhm.
think that there's other games that should be in here. And when we get to best indies, which I believe is coming up soon, like was just one of the best years of all time for indie games, where
Yeah.
we've just had a stacked year of indies. And so this cast is going to beat everyone's ass. So this cast's too strong, my friend.
Mhm.
So I think that and also it's got the PlayStation bump and it's
Right.
yeah. All right, content creator of the year. We got Carl Jacobs, Ludwig, Rebellion or Nibel, uh, No Brew, and QT Cinderella. Um, did I? No, you started the last one, so I get this one. Um, yeah, QT and Ludwig are the same audience, so they'll split. In my this is where my mind goes. They'll split. Carl Jacobs is a powerhouse in my opinion. When we're talking about just best content creators of the year, that is a name that like I think it is up there with Ludwig. The issue is there Rebellion would be unbelievable for a lot of reasons. Maybe we get a face reveal. He also just stopped doing Twitter, so that would be exciting. But this year was the year of the subathon, past March. The subathon with Ludwig for a month being live and sharing his life. I'm going with Ludwig.
This year?
Yeah, I believe so.
Really?
I believe so.
I don't think that's right, but
I'm going Ludwig
um,
anyways.
yeah,
Or
I'm
is
gonna
it
go
2 years
Ludwig
ago?
too. I'm gonna go I feel like he's at the top of his game. Give me
Yeah.
Ludwig.
I watched a
I
Ludwig
if
video this morning. Like,
Yeah, dude, Ludwig's great. Like, I feel like he's just super likable, anyways. Like, I think anybody can kind of get on board with him. Rebellion should not win. If he wins, I'll actually be annoyed.
right,
He's
best
not making content. Like, he's not like an actual content creator. He just tweets out regurgitated
Yeah.
information. It's like, okay, great. I mean,
Thanks.
like, I appreciate it, but you could literally get a bot to do that.
What a nod, though. Like,
Yeah, it's
actually,
cool,
like,
but it
not.
definitely just hit at the right time,
Yeah,
like, where he left Twitter and then people were like, okay, like, time to get I mean, it's cool, I
yeah.
guess, but
But also, that's one of the more fan voted ones, I do believe. And so I think that that's where Carl Jacobs and Ludwig will clear him out. If it was that one was just industry, the 90% industry, 10% fan vote, then I do believe that it would be the Nival would have a better shot at it.
right.
Best multiplayer, we have MW2, Multiverse, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Connor, where do you go with this one?
Give me COD. And then COD wins it. I think this is a really weak category for the most part. I loved playing Splatoon 3. Apparently the community does not like Splatoon 3
Yeah,
for the grander Splatoon community. I like it, but I'm not like as ingrained as people who played Splatoon 2 until Splatoon 3 came out. So I can't like tell the difference. Multiverses totally had its flash in the pan, came and went. I could see TMNT possibly eking it out. Like that would be pretty cool if that happened. And then Overwatch 2 is dead on arrival, seemingly. So yeah. And people like Modern Warfare 2.
yeah.
Like it's doing well, and I feel like for the first time in a while, like COD fans are just like kind of stoked on Call of Duty, which is weird. It's been a minute. So yeah, give me COD.
That's a great pick. It would be my second pick. Give me TMNT. This is where it gets it. I think that this is a game that
Okay.
is up for a lot of different categories, and I think that this is where it pulls through. It got snubbed on score. For fighting game, there's weird stuff there. Like it got nominated for weird stuff and didn't on others. I think that this is where it gets it, and that
Right.
it won't get any more. So that's sort of my mindset. Give me TMNT, but COD, I think it's a two-man race. I think Overwatch 2, Multiverse, and
Yeah.
Splatoon 3 all had their issues, and then COD and TMNT are great games, and that's
Right.
where we stand with that. All right, 10 categories deep. We got best sports slash racing games. We have F1 22, which is the game that somebody bought on my PlayStation account when they hacked my account, you jerk. Oh, we have FIFA 23, we have NBA 2K 23, we have Gran Turismo 7, and we have Ollie Ollie World. Did I go first? Did you go? Oh, you went first
I
on the
went
last one.
first.
I'm taking this one. Um, I think that it would be funny if FIFA won just because it's the last year we will ever have a FIFA. But no, give me Gran Turismo 7. I think that it gets a PlayStation bump. It's between, in my eyes, Gran Turismo 7 and Ollie Ollie World, and I'm going Gran Turismo.
Yeah, GT7 for sure.
Yeah,
That game's was really well received, sold really well, shockingly. So
yeah.
yeah, people like that game.
All right, best sim and strategy game. We have Dune, Spice Wars, Mario Rabbit, Sparks of Hopes, Total War Hammer 3, Two Point Campus, and Victoria 3. Connor, you are up.
This is a cakewalk. Mario Rabbids for sure.
Yep.
This is a pretty weak category. It's weird. I would be really curious to see how Mario Rabbids sold. Because I feel like nobody's talking about it. Like it just kind of came and went. But yeah,
Yeah,
Mario Rabbids.
I'm in the same. When I said yes, I 100% agree that
Right.
that's going to be a trouncing. Best family game, normally known as the Nintendo category. You'll see a lot of that here. We have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hopes, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3. Connor, where do you go with this? Or I'm up first. I'm up first.
Yeah.
Great.
I already
Thank
know what it is.
thank goodness. This is in my opinion Mario Rabbids might be the best game here, reviews wise, but this is where Kirby will get it. And I am on the campaign that Kirby and or Sifu should have gotten in over Stray for Game of the Year, and I know that a lot of people are upset about that too. So I'm gonna go with Kirby here. This is where it gets its award. Give me Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Yeah, I agree. Kirby totally all the way. And when you were talking about reviews, are you sure? I think Kirby reviewed really
No,
well.
Kirby reviewed really well, but also Mario Rabbids was one of the best reviewed games. It's just not
Okay,
an everybody game, and that's why it didn't get.
gotcha.
Yeah. So best fighting games for the best game design, primarily around head-to-head combat. For me, this is like there should be a versus mode. Damiani said this on the Easy Allies, and I've never agreed
Yeah,
more with something. There should be a like when you think of best fighting, Sifu getting here. I'll read the nominations. Sorry. DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All Stars Battle Royale, The King of Fighters 15, Multiverses, and Sifu. Sifu getting nominated here is weird. Like that's
yeah, and it's not gonna win because of that
I
specifically.
I
Yeah,
agree with that. But this is Sifu. I don't think is gonna win anything. Is where my what gets
Yeah,
planted.
it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Connor.
Is it my turn? Yeah,
Yes.
is it my turn? Yeah. Give me multiverses here. I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think King of Fighters is like popular, but I feel like it just has a very niche audience, whereas multiverses like was played by everybody. So yeah.
I didn't expect for you and I to disagree on as many as we are because
Mhm.
like last year we were pretty lock and step for about 20 of these and we nailed of those 20 we nailed about like 18 of them. This one we seem a little bit more separate. I'm gonna go King of Fighters 15. I think that is the game that I've heard the most when we're talking about fighting communities this year, and so that's where I
Right.
land. Now best RPG. We got best role playing games. There is Elden Ring, Live Alive or Live a Live, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. First and foremost, what a stacked category this year.
Yeah,
What a
really good year for
legitimately
RPGs for sure.
amazing year. When you're talking about Live Live and Triangle Strategy being both those games aren't even the top two in this category, like that's
Right.
pretty unbelievable. Um, God damn, I want Xenoblade to win. I like the amount that Matt Lucid, a good friend of mine, has been championing that game and has said time and time again that this game deserves every award that it can get, and it is one of, if not the ultimate experience on the Switch when you're talking about an RPG. Um, it's not going to win. It's going to be Elden Ring. Because that is the best role and play game on this list. But man, Xenoblade is just going to get shafted here so many times. So, Connor, what's your pick?
I'm just living life here. Give me Xenoblade 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. It's gonna win off of sheer like I know that Elden Ring is an RPG, but like this is typically kind of reserved for like JRPG
Yeah,
style games, like Eastern RPGs. So like yeah, give me Xenoblade 3. People fucking love that game. They think
yeah.
it's better than the second one. They think it's potentially better than the first. So yeah, give me Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This is where it gets to do.
Also, I do want to shout out Pokemon Legends Arceus. What a game that I thought like the entire way leading into it looked like absolute horseshit. It reviewed well and like to be in this
It's good.
category. Yeah, good for Pokemon.
It's crazy that it just kind of talking about Pokemon for a second here that it's Arceus apparently.
Yeah.
Arceus is like reviewed better, but I think looked at in a lesser light than Scarlet and Violet is right now, which is crazy. Like people are just having a blast with Scarlet and
Yeah.
Violet. So much so that I want to play it really badly,
Yeah.
even though
Even with all of
I
its
don't like
bugs.
Pokemon games. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I like the layout and the open world aspect of it. I know that Arceus was kind of open area, but this is like fully open world. Like I don't know. I got to check it out at some point. But
All right. Best action adventure game we have A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon, Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. Tunic ended in there. It's a little exciting because that is a action adventure game, like
yep.
true and true. So I'm all about that. Connor, you're up first for this one.
You already know it's God of War for sure.
uh,
Not even a
so
question. I don't. I think this is so heads and shoulders above the rest of the pack
here's
here
the
that
thing.
like
Here's the thing. Do you play the game? And this is where Horizon gets it.
no,
Do you,
there's no game here. There's no game here. Like we've talked about the game for the last few years. I don't think there's a game. Like I think if God of War can sweep, it is going to sweep every category that it is not against Elden Ring in. That is literally
I
the situation that we're going through.
I
So,
100 1,000% agree that God of
yeah.
War is leaps and bounds the best game here and will win this category.
And I like Horizon, and I've heard Plague Tale is good, but it's not even close. So
Best action game. We have Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder Revenge. What a category! Like
really
this is
good.
a stacked action category.
They're all so different. Every single one of these games is like completely different.
Yeah,
It's
and
weird.
it's in my eyes fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'll kick us off. This is a tough category, and like because I think that a lot of these games are around that 8 area, around that 9 area, where they're all really fucking good. But there's not one that's just better than the rest. There's not one that's really standing out. This might be the most even betting line across all 5 the
Yep.
entire day. Like it is a fully fucking stacked cast, and I'm trying to stall. I'm trying to filibuster. Am I up first? Are you up first?
You're up first.
Damn it. Um, I want Sifu to win. Give it to Sifu.
Oh man, that's what I was gonna pick, but I want to be different.
You don't have to be. Just pick Seafood, dude. Ride the Seafood way. Because then we'll both be excited if it wins.
No, give me Neon White. I think
Hey, there
Gilbert
we
gets
go.
it.
That
Yeah,
that's what
it's
I was deciding
close, dude.
between.
It's really close. I think Sifu is the better game for sure. Or just, I love Sifu. I love it. So
We're not gonna pick this one because we didn't play. I haven't strapped on a VR headset since February. But we
oh,
have
different.
After the Fall, Amongst VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2. Anything you want to discuss here?
Maybe Moss. I think Moss probably wins it, but
Cool,
that's what I hope.
cool.
I've heard it's quite
I
good.
can see Among Us winning it because Among Us, but
I heard that's fun as fuck too.
yeah.
So
Innovation and accessibility we have As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, The Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry. Connor. Oh,
God of War.
what?
It's my turn.
Okay, cool. God of War.
Yeah, it's God of War.
God of War.
Yeah, PlayStation first party just leads the way in
Well,
accessibility.
that's why I like the big thing with The Last was Part 2 or Part 1 was accessibility. But I'm also going to go with God of War. I'm also going to go with God of War.
It's really just the stuff from the first or from Part 2 brought over to Part 1.
Yeah.
So like, whereas God of War does more stuff than both of those. So
we have best community support. This is one of those fun categories in my opinion. We have Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky.
It's your turn.
Oh, okay. I'm going Final Fantasy 14.
I'm gonna go Fortnite.
Fortnite I will be my pick for a later category, but I think when we're talking community, I think the people that bang the drum hardest and the loudest are the FF14 people because that every single time it is play this game and like compared to Fortnite where they don't have to do that as much because people are always playing it. All right.
Yeah, you're probably right. Honestly,
Best,
you convince me there.
No, you can't switch that.
I know.
Best mobile game we have Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Hour of Fantasy. Before we get into it, does Marvel Snap came in right under the radar, and it's just so loud in the kind of funny community, and also on my YouTube ads. Like, is it just a echo chamber, or is this game for real?
It's not popular outside of those groups, I don't think.
Yeah.
For the most part, or as far as I can tell. But yeah, I have not played it yet, and
I
think
played a little bit.
It probably wins. Give me Marvel Snap.
Yeah, when I think about these games, Genshin Impact, I feel like is something that I hear about, but I'm also going to go with Marvel Snap. So that's that. We only got 10 categories left. We're cruising. This is probably the craziest category. When this got announced, literally, I was like, okay, these 3 games are going to be in it. And then when all 5 were listed off, I'm like, holy shit, what a year for indies. Best indies. And this might be the most interesting, like this and best debut and best action game, I believe, where it's just pick your favorites.
It's kind of like a few years ago when like nothing was really guaranteed.
Yeah.
With the Sekiro year.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying that we get this from the indie side where they're all so damn good, and then we also came through with the AAAs. Like, because I felt like the Sekiro year was like the AAAs were less than what we have this year, and those AAAs were all awesome, like, but not as grandiose as what
nothing
we have for the
really stood out and like moved the whole medium forward.
Yeah. We have, but for the best indies, Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, Tunic. Am I up first or are you first?
You're up first.
Oh shit. When I think of best indies of this year, the one that comes to mind that I want to ride and die with. When I first saw this category pop up, I thought of one game and one game only, and you can see it in our reaction video where I reacted to these announcements. Give me Cult of the Lamb. That is my pick for this one, and I think that a lot of things get separated. And the horse, the one that you should pick is Stray because it is nominated for Game of the Year. But I'm going for Cult of the Lamb.
Stray is so confusing. I really want to see the numbers of how it eked into Game of the Year because I don't quite understand it. But I'm going to pick Stray here for that very reason. So
it checks out. It makes sense. You're a wimp. You don't believe in God.
I wasn't going to pick Cult of the Lamb if I picked something else. So
best ongoing game we have Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. And you are up first.
Give me Final Fantasy 14 here. Endwalker came out in December of last year, so it's been in this year. So their last big expansion was within the last calendar year, and it was super massively popular and has continued to update and make the game better, as far as I understand. So yeah,
I
Final
could
Fantasy
wimp
14.
out and pick Final Fantasy 14, but I think that this year's Fortnite had one of, if not the biggest introduction it could ever have in introducing no builds. Like that changed the game for
That's a
what
good
Fortnite
point.
is. And so for when I'm talking about the best development of an ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time, that is the definition of that. Then Fortnite did that better than any game this year. I'm going with Fortnite, and that is
I
a
think it's
personal
funny
pick.
we just
Yeah,
went back and
well,
forth
it
on
was
that.
funny.
Yeah,
The second that you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I know
yeah.
what's happening. Games for Impact. Do we want to discuss
No,
this one?
I got nothing to say here.
Yep,
I
nothing to
didn't play
say here.
any of these. All I know is that as Duskfall looks horrible, and I can't stand looking at it.
Best performance. One of the most interesting, fun categories that we get every year, or to an individual for voice over acting, motion, and or performance capture. We have at let me. Sorry, I almost just read off the games. We have Ashley Birch for Horizon Forbidden West, Charlotte McBurney for A Plague Tale Requiem, Christopher Judge for God of War Ragnarok, Manon Gage for Immortality, and Sonny Solchin. Sorry, I can't say that last name.
Sulfic, it's Sulfic.
Solfic for God of War Ragnarok. Connor, where or do I start this? Oh, I
I
start this one.
think it's
I start
you.
this one.
Yeah,
Yeah. First and foremost, Immortality, from my understanding, is Man Gage's performance is the thing that carries that entire game on its shoulders because you're acting out these three different movie scenes through this actress that it plays all different ones, and that is an immensely impressive thing. And I think that the thing to discuss there is that she got the nod. I don't think that she'll
right.
win it. Um, I I think it's going to come down to the God of War powerhouses. And 2018, Christopher Judge did not win Best Performance. It went to the person who played Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Rightfully so,
Right?
probably.
I don't disagree with it, but it didn't go to Christopher Judge. Where I think a lot of people would think when they think about Christopher Judge's performance in God of War, they're like, oh, of course he won that year. But he did not. This year it will go to Christopher Judge for Kratos in God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I am on the same page. I think Christopher Judge gives an insanely impressive performance for what Kratos has become and how he has to jump through hoops to portray that.
Yeah.
Like in his voice and his facial expressions. Like I was talking to my wife Laura about it. Like I am so impressed by it. Like I can't believe how amazing his performance is in this game. I
And
think
it,
it's
dude,
spectacular.
the last couple hours too of that game, the performance is
Right.
just
I mean,
even
like
better.
it happened. It's sprinkled throughout where I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like, oh, moment. I'm just like, oh man, this guy's good. This guy's good at what he does.
the quotes
So
in
yeah,
it too. That like the
yeah,
line delivery is so pungent every
yes,
single time it gets brought up. So yeah,
right.
this is Christopher Judge's time to shine. I would get excited for this. Like this would be a like good thing to see happen on stage during the Game Awards.
Yeah,
But also shout out to Sonny because Atreus went from someone that I thought was like a decent whatever you're a child actor, and some of the lines that in the first one come off as like, oh, you're a child actor, so it's whatever. But then there was a lot of decent lines in the first one that I'm like, oh, this guy's got some chops. And then in this one, he kills Atreus for
right.
the amount that he has to take on. Absolutely great performance there. A lot of credit to him. Best audio design. Very interesting category for best audio design this year. We have MW2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, GT7, and Horizon Forbidden West. What a sneaky, stacked category we have here.
You're right. This is tough.
You're up
Is my
first.
I go first?
Yep.
I
Because you got the
don't.
guns that sound good, you got the monsters in Horizon that like the that sound amazing. GT, you got the cars that sound good, and then
Yeah,
the world and the enemy variety and the sounds of Elden Ring and God of War are both just so damn good. So it's a stat category.
I don't know how people are really going to like the people who are voting for it are really going to parse through this and like how they're gonna think on it. Because I think that if we're really being honest, Horizon probably has the best sound design, and that's what I'm gonna vote for. That's what I'm gonna say is going to win. And that's kind of what I hope wins, honestly. So. Yeah, I'm
We're
gonna go
we're
Horizon.
we're, we're on par for that. I think that this is Horizon's win. I think that it's a tough win because like Horizon's an amazing game, but what a you're free gaming and so
Right.
this might be the only one it gets, and I
It's
think that it
definitely
should.
gonna get like just. I think this is one of those that like probably gets put in between other awards. Like doesn't like get like an on stage
Yeah, 100%.
exciting thing or whatever. So I think unfortunately, this is where Horizon wins something, and it's gonna just kind of get glossed over.
Oh
So
yeah, but the fact that it will win something, hopefully it does win something here. It
right,
deserves to win something. Because what a freaking video game. But when you have just such a great, when you have God of War and Elden Ring, come on. When you had Elden Ring the next week that just took over everything. Oh man,
unfortunate.
unfortunate. Best score in music. We have A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'm up first for this one.
Yep.
I struggled with this one when this first got announced because I did not beat God of War yet. It was a for what Metal Hellsinger does, cool. What like that is a cool concept of bringing in different metal artists to go and just produce music for a game. A Plague Tale Requiem, I nothing. I like the buzz about that game. I've heard nothing about the music. And then you have Elden Ring and Xenoblade, which Xenoblade is the thing on Twitter that I see when it comes to score. Like that was one of the biggest parts of that game, and I could
Right.
easily see that that wins it. Give me God of War. That the score in that game is so terrific. When it hits, it hits. I was watching Video Game Donkey's review on it today, and the end of that review is him just saying, "God damn!" And then the score kicks in, and you're just like, I legitimately like started tearing up just by like a few notes of that score.
Right.
it is absolutely masterful, and I don't want to take anything away from Elden Ring or Xenoblade because both those scores are terrific and just this is one of those years where it's like I cannot wait to see what the orchestra for the video game awards does because just hearing these scores, there's some of the most powerful music that we have all year from anything, and especially in the video game medium. What a year for scores in gaming. Connor, your pick.
Give me Elden Ring. I think that for me, like I think that the God of War soundtrack is fantastic. But even so, I still think I remember and was uh, Elden Ring's left more of an impression on me for the most part. So give me Elden Ring.
Love it. We have four categories left. We're getting into it. Best art direction. Goran just sneaking in there. We have Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon, Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. Um,
Oh, you have to go. No, I go
you go
first.
first on this one.
Give me Stray here. I think right. Like all of these games are like really quite good looking, but like maybe like the enemy design and stuff is really interesting in Elden Ring, but like and in God of War looks like more God of I don't know, but Stray is very unique in its style and art direction. So yeah, give me Stray. Scorn is gross. Fuck that game. don't
uh,
don't even talk to me about
Give
it.
me Elden Ring in this category for the reason that you just said. I think the enemy variety and the creativity that comes along with that,
That's fair.
whether you're facing a hand or a terrifying cat or just one of the big bosses, it is terrific and terrifying
Right.
and epic in all mediums. All right, the categories left. Best narrative. How long do we need to talk about this one?
It's God of War.
Yeah.
For sure. It's not even
Yep.
close. Like it's not even close. And the whole argument about Elden Ring and it having narrative, it's like, is this really what we want to the hill we want to die on? Like who cares?
Yeah.
Have
No,
you heard
it's
about
not.
this?
It's not important. As yeah. No, I do.
It does have narrative, but
Yeah.
like
It's
it's just
not.
different. Like who I don't know. Like just because it
I,
isn't spelled out for you doesn't mean that
I'm
it's a bad
sorry. I
narrative.
also think that when you're talking about narrative, you think of story, you think of dialogue, you think of character development. That's
Yeah,
what
but
narrative is.
just because you have to read the story
Yeah.
doesn't mean that or like I don't know, whatever.
But yeah, it's got to work with a bullet. Two left. We have this one, the big boy, best game direction. Connor, when we're talking awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, we have Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon, Forbidden West, Immortality, Stray. Normally, this is a lock and step with what wins game of the year.
Yeah.
Will that
It,
range? Am I first on this one?
no, I think I am too. I think
Yeah,
since we both said God of War on the last one, like immediately,
yeah,
it's technically back to me.
sure.
Um, it's Elden Ring, and like when I think game direction and innovation in like how they created that game and the creative direction to make it as open world and open ended as it is, it has to be Elden Ring. Like God of War is a sequel to God of War 2018 and very much shows it, and that's not a bad thing. Like that's what I wanted. It adds new things, and but it doesn't totally reinvent itself, and that's not what it needs to do. Elden Ring takes the Dark Souls formula and totally reinvents itself, and like reinvents open world games like as a whole. It does what Breath of the Wild did to Zelda. Like it's impressive, and it's gonna win this category, and we'll probably win the next one too. So
I 100% agree. Yeah, I like the thing that makes this interesting for me, and this isn't common knowledge by any means, but when the Kind of Funny crew was interviewing the director, basically Cory Barlog, the first director of God of War, gave him like 4 bullet points of like, this is what needs to be in the sequel, and then other than that, go for it. And then like there were certain like story beats and certain elements, but there and he listed the 4 bullet points. I we're not spoiling God of War right now. So but like the fact that that's all he had of like this is what we know what I'm getting, and the way that this world fills out from a directive and decision making and the side missions, and like I'm itching to like finish my day tomorrow so I can just start cracking into the new game plus God of War Ragnarok. Like that is all I want to do with my life right now, and that is extremely impressive. But for every reason you just said, Elden Ring is special. Like God of War, actually that makes it sound like all these games aren't actually pretty special, but like it moved what gaming is forward, and we will discuss that a little bit more in the next category. Last one, four. We have Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative fields, or creative and technical fields. I'm gonna read them off, and then we will just go back up to the top four, but I will go through all of them. Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We don't need to fully go straight into our winner yet. I enjoyed our conversation last year of sort of slicing down, but I would say that a Plague Tale, Stray, and Xenoblade were the shocks. That's what the shocks were for me when this came to fruition. I thought that a Plague Tale was going to get in there, and I thought Xenoblade would also get in there, but those two weren't guarantees by any means. And then Stray
no, yeah,
was the shock of
right.
the entire ballot, I would say.
Stray's just happy to be
Yeah,
here.
it's having a good
Honestly,
time, dude.
all right.
If Stray, okay, it won't be Stray, but
Dude, if it is, I will flip a table. I swear to
I
God.
I think that I would I think that people would never be able to take anything seriously ever again. Like when it comes to an award show. So yeah, it's not Stray. Um, and then you've got to talk about Horizon. Like what a shafted year that Horizon. Let's simply Horizon's in last year's field. It wins, right?
So what was the last?
It Takes Two and Deathloop were the two big boys of last year.
No, I don't think. I think it takes two still wins it.
I I
Yeah,
I kind of agree too. But like I think that it
I
would be
think Horizon's
close.
really good, and it's a solid sequel. Man, like it is definitely open world fatigue time, especially when put up next to Elden Ring. It's like
Also,
tough.
when you have that game that like the thing with God of War when it was we know it's a sequel, we know what we're getting. The way that that game progresses is through its narrative, and like that's how and the
Right.
performance is, and that's how they go and sort of elevate itself from the original. And Horizon doesn't have that. Horizon just has
Nope.
new missions and a story that is pretty damn
Pretty
similar to the first one. Like it's not too innovative, and
right.
so now let's move into the discussion of Game of the Year 2022. It is down to the Kong versus Godzilla, Elden Ring versus God of War. And we both before the show have said this on multiple phone calls and podcasts and everything. It's Elden Ring, right? We're both giving this to Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not super confident in it. Like I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I think Elden Ring is way better than Ragnarok. And like I didn't even finish Elden Ring and I know it's better. Like I played that game for 40 hours and I didn't finish it and I know that game is way better.
I disagree on the way. I disagree on the way.
I
I
just I don't know. I think Elden Ring is probably technically it's a PS4 game, right? It's last
yeah,
gen.
it's on all
Um,
gen.
it could be argued it's the best. It's the best game from that entire generation, Nick. Like I don't think God of War 2018. It could be argued maybe. So
We're talking about like two games that are on Metacritic 94 and like 95. Like we're talking about in the aggregate it is closer than you'd expect. I think though that the people that want Elden Ring to win it all would be devastated in a way, like would almost feel gypped if it didn't win. Whereas
yeah,
if Elden Ring wins, and I'm somebody that's going to be beating the Ragnarok drum when you and I do our Game of the Year on Evans Island Day, um, it's I'm not upset that Elden Ring's going to win this. Like it's weird where it's like you got to give respect almost. Like it's that unbelievable of a game. If we're talking about a video game, like we're not talking about like an NBA player, but it feels like we are. We're like, well, like you're upset, like it won, but like you gotta respect the talent. Like what are we
right.
talking about here? This is unbelievable. How often
No,
do we get a game like this? The answer is never. We get one or two every 3 or 4 years. And I honestly think though that Ragnarok you once you beat Ragnarok and play those last few missions, I do think that you will be even higher on it than you currently are, and you have revved up a little bit since.
no, I'm
The,
super high on it. I
yeah,
think it's great. I
yeah,
think it's a fantastic game. And with that in mind, I still think Elden Ring is way better.
yeah,
And by way better, I think that like Elden Ring is probably like a 10 and Ragnarok's probably like a 9 or whatever.
yeah.
So
That's a fair take.
but there's just a lot of stuff that like I keep coming back to like one aspect when I'm thinking about like the main difference, and it is God of War takes and refines a lot of what has made AAA games, AAA PlayStation games, and just like brings it to the next level, but still is hampered by a lot of the problems. Case in point, the climbing in that game. Whereas I like pressing X and just climbing up a bunch of like walls or whatever. That is so outdated and people don't like that. Like it just feels like a time killer for the most part. But like it needs that to like to get to the next story point, but like it's still bad game design. Like it's not fun to do that for the most part. Whereas Elden Ring, I feel like is all killer, no filler. Like you're always doing something that is fun and engaging and exciting. So
I also have to say this, and I'll definitely bring this up when we're talking about Game of the Year. I don't know where Elden Ring's gonna shake out. I definitely have to play a couple more games over break. I have legitimately like a schedule planned out of what I need to finish
all
before
right.
we discuss on Nevin's Island Day. But Elden Ring did the impossible for me, where Connor was like, play Bloodborne, and I tried really hard. When Connor pushes something for me, I like, or anybody pushes a recommendation as hard as Connor was pushing the recommendation to play Bloodborne, you got to do it. Like you got to give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be disingenuous to a friendship to not give a game like that a shot, especially for all of the crazy reviews that it got. And I got like 2.5 hours in, and I was like, this game fucking sucks. And it's because I'm bad at video games. Like, it's not anything against Bloodborne. It's because that's not a Nick Evans game at all. And then
Right.
discussing whether or not I was going to buy Elden Ring, the reviews came out, and I remember talking to you about it, and I'm just like, I think I'm going to buy this game. And like, why? Like, that's just not your bag. Like, that's
Right.
not you, dude. And I'm like, well, like, it'll be good to stream for a little bit and everything. But I played like 22 hours of this game. Like, it did the impossible. I fucking loved this video game, and every second that I had of it, getting my ass beat down. And like, I played like 2.5 hours on stream, and then 20 hours by myself where like there's not the camera on me, there's not this interaction on Twitch. It's just being straight up, and I like it did the impossible where, and it did that for a lot of people. Like I'm not the
Right.
only one where that's the case. And God of War had such an easier task where it's like you know what you're getting, and what you're getting is really damn good. And the way that the game, like I said, pushes itself is through that narrative, and the stories, and the performances. I think that Odin, Thor, Freya, Sunny, and Christopher Judge could have legitimately been all five. Like all five performances, I was so captivated with every single
Right.
line for best performances here, and that, but like that doesn't happen in games. But what Elden Ring was able to do is something that we will be discussing on podcasts and on predictions and on anything forever. Like for the end of our lives when we are talking about gaming and innovation and what it means to change the game. And I I can't wait. I like part of like Ragnarok winning would be really cool because that is a game that connects with me personally as someone that loves these third person narrative adventure games. That it's like that's my comfort, that's my bread and butter, that's a lot of people's bread and butter. But I want Elden Ring to win it because I want more games that can push the boundary of what gaming is, and
Right.
it would be really, really special to see Elden Ring win it. Man, last year we talked for like 5 minutes about Game of the Year, and this year I think that between you and I, we went for about 10. And I think it deserved it this year. I legitimately think that this year it deserved a lengthier conversation because we have two of the greatest games in my opinion, two of the best games that have come out in the past 3 4 years. I haven't seen something like this since Red Dead 2, like God of War, like Breath of the Wild, where it is games that are pushing, like we've been coasting almost since then, like The Last of Us, like
Did God of War and Red Dead come out in the same year?
2018, yeah,
And who won that?
God of War. And it did the thing of here's what's gonna happen. This is my biggest Game Awards prediction. Red Dead swept the entire night, and in certain categories like actor, like where it's like, oh, Christopher Judge just changed the face of Kratos, and it still didn't win that. And
Right.
then it got direction for Corey, and then it got Game of the Year. This year, I think
Interesting.
that God of War is going to sweep, and then game direction and Game of the Year is going to go to Elden Ring.
That's a good point.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I would see
I could see
happening.
that exact thing happening. That makes sense. All
Yeah.
right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more Game Awards thing to do later, which will be our me and Connor's personal predictions. That'll be a shorter video where it is us giving out 3, 5, 6. I don't know. Maybe we'll throw a bonus, and then maybe we'll throw a crazy prediction in there. We will have a good time, but we will
The
be
Gnarls
predicting
Barkley.
the Gnarls Barkley, Connor. I didn't know if you would remember. We'll throw in the a crazy prediction in there probably too. We have that. That's going to be a shorter video. That'll be a primer video, probably released about a week before the Game Awards. And then the big one, December 8th, we will be reacting to all of it. And you're like, Nick, I already have a crew that I react and watch everything with. You can catch all of the biggest reactions split out on the Nevins on YouTube channel and as a full video, the full chonkin 3+ hour Game Awards video of us reacting, myself, Connor, and most likely 2, 3 members of the crew joining along with us, having a good time. But it's always special to talk about Game of the Year because we're talking about the best of the thing that we love, and it's always a great time to do that with the Brother Evans. But in the meantime, we salute you. Peace out.